This is real. So yeah, this is actually real. The professional baseball team hired a 24-year-old, now 25, who wears Power Ranger shirts to be the GM of the baseball team, which is exciting, which is scary. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to drop this little video because we'll be seeing a lot of these little videos because we have partnered with Netflix to kind of take down our journey, my journey. I know originally it was supposed to be the Red Sox, but when they found out about this change in power, quote unquote, I don't know, I don't want to call it change in power, but found out, hey, they're hiring this jamoke. They pivoted hardcore. So we will be featured in Netflix documentary. Forgot what it's called. I probably should know that, but I don't. That's okay. So you'll be seeing a lot of these candid videos. They'll have a crew follow me around. Actually, they won't. They told me I have to submit my own videos. So, and the first check hasn't come in yet. So we are laptop and USB micing it up. So yeah, that's what I got. We have a special interview with me and podcast host, Denver Davis. And I know how much everyone in Colorado loves Denver Davis. Is one of the top podcasts, especially Rockies content. I think the top Rockies podcast out right now. So we'll be talking to him a little bit later. So I'm not going to... It's kind of going to be your introduction to me. I'm not going to kind of put it out here right now because we have that interview. I don't want to take Denver's shine. He seems like a good guy. Can't wait to meet with him later. But yeah, so hope you enjoy this ride as much as I will. Alrighty, folks, the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's check out the roster for this year's Colorado Rockies. And let's just go by position and kind of let you know where we are at in terms of the future, in terms of the right now, and kind of what the plans are. So as we can see, starting pitching in Colorado is not easy, and that is well documented throughout the history of the team. Pitchers struggle in Coors Field, and there's only been a few that have conquered it, and even then, it's only been for a season or two. There has not been a super long success in the starting pitcher position. But let's see what we got for this year. Cal Quantrill is going to be our man right now, with German Marquez out for the year with a shoulder elbow surgery. And that sucks. His contract is one more year on it. So we will see. As you see, 6 months out, and he's going to miss the whole year. Kyle Freeland, Dakota Hudson, Austin Gomber, Peter Lambert are going to be kind of fighting for that spot, as well as Ryan Feltner. And we'll kind of make some moves as we go. Our top prospect here is Chase Dollander. We're not going to spend too much time on the prospects. They'll have their own little segment that we're going to do every year, kind of showing you the top guys in our organization. Other than that, there's no real. Joe Rock has some decent potential. Ryan Rollison's been with the team for a little bit, but nothing really standing out here. Jaden Hill, if you get those walk issues down, maybe he becomes something. Relief pitchers, I feel like it's a very middle of the pack, lower end bullpen. We got Daniel Barr, John Curtis, Jalen Beeks, Tyler Kinley. Those are going to be our guys with Jake Bird, Lucas Gilbert, and it kind of falls off from there. Riley Pint is going to be competing for some playing time. Only pitched a third of an inning last year. He up a run while doing so with 3 walks. So he's going to be in the mix as well. And this position through, I think my philosophy is it is short leash. If you start struggling, we're going to replace you with someone who isn't. It does not matter how well you've succeeded in the past. It matters what you're putting on the field now, especially in the bullpen. It's super vital that you're getting consistently decent results. Some other guys who are going to be fighting for some time here in camp. And moving on to closers, we got Justin Lawrence. Also, my philosophy with the closers, we're really only going to have a major league closer. I'm going to move these guys and make them primary relievers. There will still be somebody closing in all 3 levels, but we're not going to have a quote-unquote closer pipeline. We're going with our best reliever. We're going with the man who we think can get the job done day in, day out. That changes, and that changes. Elias Diaz, he was our all-star catcher, had a fantastic all-star moment last year, kind of breaking that tie with the American League, hitting a home run late in that one. Jacob Stallings is our veteran, and Drew Romo, one of our top prospects. He's going to be looking for playing time in the next couple of years. Only 22 years old, and these guys are not getting any younger. Other than that, depth. We have some decent fielding and depth, and that's kind of what I want from my catch position. Somewhat a Stallings type. You don't need to be an insane hitter. Obviously, it's very valuable if you do, and we'll see what Drew Romo can do in that department. Obviously, better against lefties than he is righties, but we are going to be looking for defense behind the plate. First baseman, Elihuris Montero, one of the top returns that we got in the Nolan Arenado deal. He has some sneaky pop. At this first base position as a whole, something we're going to be looking to upgrade as a whole. Michael Toglia is going to be, it's these two competing for that first base spot right now. My heart wants to say Toglia is going to get it, just to kind of get him in there. He's kind of been one of our top prospects the last few years, and so I kind of really want to give him the majority of the at-bats. And worst case scenario, as a switch hitter, he can kind of hit both. Maybe we give him the lefty at-bats, him the righty at-bats. Who knows? Obviously, fielding's a lot better with Toglia. Has some athleticism as well, so we'll kind of see how that works. Also, Montero's going to be kind of in that mix for the DH spot. Brendan Rodgers, a guy who's been hampered by injuries, but highly touted out of LSU, along with Alex Bergman. They played together, I believe, and a lefty masher. We'll see with him. He only has one more year of team control before his free agency. You can see that he, again, good against lefties, can field, doesn't have a good arm, so that's why he's at second base. Not the fastest guy around by any stretch of imagination, but we look at some of his numbers. He's been a consistent hitter in the between 260 and 280. Can give you some pop, but he's not going to be asked to hit 30 home runs in a season, but we'll see. OPSs have looked decent, but have been trailing off each of his full seasons here. Again, last year only played 40 games. Really hasn't played 140 in a season in his career. So a big question mark here where it could be a home run hit, and we could keep this guy here long term, or it could kind of go terribly wrong. But if it does go terribly wrong, we'll skip over to shortstops first. We got these two guys, Ezequiel Tovar and Adael Amador. These are our two prized players. Amador, one of the top prospects in all of baseball. And again, he is going to be a guy that if Rodgers does not work out, he can slide into second base very nicely. Tovar, one of the best fielders in the game, and again, very good against lefties. Amador, just a solid all-around player from all different sides of the field, runs decently fast, hits well for power and average, can field, has a decent arm, just basically very well-rounded all around. He will not be starting the year in the major leagues, but he's someone that we're going to be seeing how quickly it takes him to get to the major leagues. It could be a year. It could be two. It could be at the trade deadline. It could be sooner than that. It could be later than that. We're not going to rush him. If he's ready, he's ready, and we're going to throw him in when he is ready. But if there is a need, if there arises a need, or if he is outperforming where he should be, he will get the call. Ryan McMahon, very steady, one of the better fielders in the game. Mashes righties, not so much against lefties. But he's a guy who we have locked up till 2027 with a decent contract. So he's going to be a cornerstone of this franchise for at least a couple of years. Has some versatility as well at first base and second base. Sterling Thompson, one of our top prospects. He can play the outfield, also plays third base, obviously. And we'll see with him. He is close to being ready. Again, we will have kind of a prospect breakdown coming soon. So be wary of that. Warming Burnable as well, one of the better prospects in the organization. And, he got the invite to spring training. We'll see how he does. But I don't expect him to make the opening day roster. One over shortstop, left field. Chris Bryant is going to stick there right now. And Colorado is a huge outfield. And I feel like people take the Coors effect and say, oh, because you can hit so many home runs. And well, yeah, really what it is how big that outfield is, and doubles and triples happen. And that's where that offense really comes from. Obviously, yeah, home runs you hit a little bit more often, but it's really the doubles and those triples. And, not that fast out there in the outfield. I would probably kind of want to see him, especially at first base. If Tolia and Montero are struggling, he can slide in there, and that would leave Sean Bouchard with a little bit more speed there. Yanquiel Fernandez, one of our top prospects as well. Sam Hilliard was a power speed guy, and his stats was with Atlanta last year, was with Colorado the last couple of years, and just doesn't hit the way you would think. Does, get on base, does draw those walks, but still high strikeout guy, high power guy, just one of that prototypical style of player, and not much else in major league potential depth here. Brenton Doyle, he's going to be one of our cornerstones as well. I told you, I want speed in the outfield. He's one of the fastest guys, one of the best fielders, has one of the best arms, if not the best fielding arm combo in all of the game. Can't hit for shit. In 130 games, just about hit 203, and he will be getting in the lineup because of his speed, because of his defense. That is how I want my outfield to be speedy. I want it to be defensive focused. Obviously, we're going to have some good hitters in the corner. Benny Montgomery is a guy who we're going to be looking to call up maybe in a year or two. He's going to be one of our top prospects. But Doyle, even if the offense isn't there, as long as our offense everywhere else is producing, and with the ballpark we have, they should be, he is going to be in the lineup. Nolan Jones, he's our cornerstone. He is our franchise player. Again, speedy enough to roam the outfield, especially in right field where they have the wall and it's not as spacious. Has a hell of an arm, and he can hit. In his first season being acquired from Cleveland, only about 110 games, 2020 in doubles and home runs and stolen bases. He hit phenomenally, 931 OPS, primarily against, and as a lefty, hits better against left-handed pitching. So a reverse splits there. Is good with getting guys getting guys home when they're on base and in scoring position. So he is going to be our cornerstone, and who can forget Chuck Nash? He's most likely going to be our DH to start things off, and just a man's man, a hitter's hitter. And he's going to be a guy that we're going to put at the top of that lineup with that good discipline, and he is going to help us out, trying to get on base for everybody else. And two outfielders that we have ranked highly, Zach Dean and Jordan Beck. These guys, we will talk about them more in that prospect video that is coming out shortly here on Netflix. But we have some outfield guys, Montgomery, Fernandez, and between those four guys, we have some holes if someone decides to not perform as well. We'll see Brenton Doyle, Nolan Jones. We're going to try to get a deal done for Nolan Jones. We'll see if we can do that in this offseason, if not next offseason. But I want Nolan Jones to be the guy, and that's what's going to be. So that's going to do it here for this team recap. And we're about to get into spring training. Hope you're excited, and we'll see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the greater Rocky Mountain area, welcome to another episode of On the Rocks with your host, Denver Davis. I'm here with the new and completely unknown general manager of your Colorado Rockies, Cody Chalifoux. Cody, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Denver. I definitely appreciate it.
So, Cody, who are you? We don't know anything about you. 25 years old, just hired by the Colorado Rockies to manage our team. Who are you?
Yeah, so I'm a guy who loves baseball, clearly. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't. Really, originally, I was a sports broadcaster. That's what I went to school for. That's what I was doing before I got the call from Mr. Lynchfield, and that's it. I'm just a guy from Massachusetts lived in Rhode Island, trying to figure out life, going through it, and I've been blessed with this grateful opportunity, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
So how do you even come across this opportunity? Did you apply for the job? Did you read something? Did you know Mr. Lynchfield in a past life?
There was a job posting like immediately, and I was like, I play video games. It's just kind of a joke application, to be fair. And I get this call, and he said, "Is this Mr. Chalifoux?" And I said, yeah, who's this? He goes, this is Paul Litchfield. We were interested in hiring you as the position general manager. Would you be willing to accept the terms if we sent over whatever? Like, what's a good place? I was like, okay, buddy, yeah, whatever. Like, this prank phone call is cool. So whatever. I was like, well, the address is on the application if you actually had it. So 4 days later, I get a FedEx package and it's contract, like a contract, and it formed from there.
Well, I believe we're glad to have you on board. We don't know much about you yet still. Um, Obviously you've had to look at the team. You've had to realize where you're at in the world, I'm sure. It all seems like the start of a movie. What do you think about the Colorado Rockies before even seeing the team?
It's a position that I think we're going to have a lot of fun with. I think we're going to build something pretty cool. Obviously, we have a lot of obstacles in our own division, let alone our own league. I mean, we have the Dodgers just made probably one of the most talented teams the baseball's ever seen, at least since the 24 Yankees, the Murderer Row Yankees. It's what, and all I've heard all offseason is that this is the new version of that. The Padres literally just traded for Dylan Cease like an hour ago as of us recording this, so they just got tougher. The Giants are starting to make some moves. I really love Jung Ho Lee, and unfortunately, I wasn't brought on. I was brought on a little bit later into the year, and if I was brought on before, that was one of the first people I'd be looking at, a fast outfielder to patrol our outfield along with Nolan Jones and Brenton Doyle and Chris Bryant, who's there, and we have pieces. And I don't want to forget about the just World Series runner-up Arizona Diamondbacks, so we also have to play multiple times a year. So it's interesting, but I think we have a fun farm system. We have some good guys that are close to being up. We have some guys that we have to wait a couple years for, but I'm sure the wait's going to be well worth it. And we have some pieces that we can hopefully compete as soon as possible.
Well, it's good to hear that you have the Rockies in mind for sure. Obviously, a big part of becoming a general manager is knowing your players. And I don't know how hands-on these players think you're going to be, but you're younger than a lot of them. A player like Charlie Blackmon, who's been with the Rockies for a long time, could be a future Hall of Fame baseball player. Have you had a chance to sit down with someone like that who's older than you?
Yeah, I think we had a phone call / Zoom meeting. I haven't made my way out to Denver yet. I'm still tying up my affairs here in New England. Again, such an abrupt move. I wasn't really prepared for it. I have sat down with Chuck. We've had the conversation. He is the veteran. He is the guy who has been here the longest. He's the leader. And I wanted to first and foremost tell him how important he is for these first couple of years. If it's just one, I know he's a little bit older and he's kind of taking his future into his own hands pretty soon. However long he's with us, those are going to be very important. I've had a chance to talk with Chris Bryant as well as the star of the team. He's making the big money. He's expected to be our best player and has been since he signed in Colorado. And he's telling him that I believe in him. And also Herman Marquez, I've had not as long of a conversation. Obviously, there's a little bit of a language barrier there, but with him and his translator, we were able to kind of hammer out just some. Those are, I think, the three pillars. Obviously, Chuck being here for as long as he has. He was here on the last Rockies team to make the postseason, I believe in 2018, 2017, 2018, that kind of year where they went to the wild card. And then obviously Chris Bryant, he's making the money, and was brought in to be the star and to be the Nolan Arenado replacement and to give that kind of star power to the middle of that lineup and the versatility he has on the field. And he's very important. I know he's had a couple of tough years, but again, I believe in him. And Herman Marquez being the ace of our staff for right now, and I know his contract is coming up and we're going to have discussions. And
now listen, high confidence in the Colorado Rockies are two things that haven't gone together in a long time, so we are all hoping that you're right on the point with that one. But it's good to hear that you've talked to our boy Chuck. Charlie Blackmon's a fan favorite here for sure. Do you plan on keeping him around, and do you think you can get Charlie Blackmon back to the playoffs?
That's the goal. I mean, that's totally the goal. Again, like I said, I know that he's not a spring chicken, and by talking to him, I know he's a jokester, so I'm sure he'll be fine with me saying that on the air, because he jokes about it all the time, from what I gather. And there's going to be a lot of discussions, and obviously with such an abrupt change of management and of upper management, that takes a toll on players. And hopefully my next couple of months with them, for those who are entering free agency or those who are potential trade can, I'm not even there yet. We'll save that for June when I have to make tough decisions. But right now, again, like I told you, Charlie he's the backbone of this team. And for as long as he wants to give us his services, I know, again, he's older. He has to decide his future. I would love to see him play in a couple more Octobers. And obviously that's the goal. And if that's not your goal as a GM, which I guess I can say that I am now, I don't know why you would take the position. And I don't know if there's definitely not one GM in this league that their main goal isn't make the playoffs, win a championship. So I have 29 other guys I'm competing against, and we'll see how it shakes up come the season. But definitely Charlie's the guy I want to keep around for as long as I can keep him around, and we'll have conversations throughout the year, definitely, for sure.
Well, that's good to hear. You lose a lot of fans if you start dealing guys like him and Chris Bryant to other teams, especially those close by to us. But appreciate your time, Cody. Can I get you to tell us what your first move is going to be before we get you off the air?
Oh, I'm not. I like to think myself as an open book, but I don't know if we've even written that chapter yet to tell you. Again, still a lot to go with, but I'm excited. I'll leave you with this. For those fans who are listening, and a fantastic podcast, by the way, you have here. It's really fun, and I hope I'm on some more. But just have faith in me. I just ask you for that, because I know this is weird. Like, again, I'm pretty self-aware of the situation. If last year this happened to my Red Sox, I would have been over the moon upset about this. But please, definitely give me the chance. I love this game. There's nothing that I would want more than to succeed in this game. And this is my opportunity to succeed in this game. And, they say this business is sink or swimming. I grew up on an island, so I'm pretty good at swimming. So hopefully you come along with me. You give me your faith, you give me your patience, and we're gonna bring a winner here. I'm gonna guarantee that we're going to bring a winner here. Sooner or later, we're gonna have a lot of fun baseball coming up.
Well, I like the guarantee. I like the sound of winning. Maybe you can be sort of our Ted Lasso here in Colorado, Cody. Thank you so much for your time. Safe travels getting out here. Hopefully you find all your accommodations nice and homey here in Denver. And lot to come, I'm sure. It's going to be definitely a season none of us could have expected. But, well, I guess we'll see if we're happy if we're having you here or not. But
I hope you definitely be fans. I mean, that's the one thing that coming from the Boston area where we don't apologize. So please don't apologize to me. Let's have fun. Go Rocks.
Well, best of luck to you. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of On the Rocks. I'm your host, Denver Davis. Until next time, see ya.
This is MLB.
Baby, welcome to the party. I'm off the money to Xandaline. That's why I'm over retarded.